What's up, guys? Today we're going to be diving deep into my current rotation of absolute powerhouse warframes. You know how it is, meta shifts, new frames drop, but there are always those reliable few that you just keep coming back to. And lately, these 5 have been getting all of my attention. Now, these aren't necessarily the best frames in the game, but they've been carrying me through everything from Steel Path stuff to Archimedia. So with that, let's get right into it. Kicking things off at number 5, we got the Shield Siphoning Queen herself, Hildryn. Now she can take hits, drain shields, and she does quite a bit of damage. Now Hildryn's always been strong, but with me recently getting a better handle on her kit, she's become an absolute staple for me, especially during railjack missions. She's super useful during that with her actual regen on her shields and her big shield pull. Since she doesn't use energy, she pulls from her shields. And then her second ability, Pillage, you can strip armor and replenish your own shield, so you're basically just refunding whatever you want back to yourself to be able to recast even more abilities, which is also super handy when you're running railjack missions too, since railjacks pull from energy pools and Hildryn's energy pool is her shield pool, which is a pretty big one if you've got it set up pretty decently. And she can also regen them pretty fast, especially with her second ability. You've got all the railjack spamming ability nonsense that you could want. Now here's the build that I actually use with my Hildryn. I've got Combat Discipline up there in the Aura slot, and we've got Arcane Avenger. So those both pair together, so Combat Discipline makes you take damage every time you kill an enemy, right? Which will trigger Arcane Avenger, which gives you a 21% chance on taking damage to actually get a 45% crit chance boost. So that's always nice. And one other weird thing you might see on here is Archon Vitality. Now I'm using that instead of maybe like Prime Vigor, which is another good option, which will give you health and extra shields, so you get a bigger shield pool. So Prime Vigor would be another good option there, but if you see on her third, I've actually replaced it with Thermal Sunder. Now I use Thermal Sunder a lot, especially in Archimedia when we're doing maybe the mirror defense missions, just to get that cold proc so the enemy's down from swarming in so fast and give us all a chance to maybe kill them. Plus, with her shield pool and able to regen your shields with Pillage, your second ability, you can spam the crap right out of it. And that's just crazy fun. Then the last thing I want to go over is Aegis Gale, which is going to give you an extra 15% damage based on your max shields, and then also gives your Balefire an alternate fire. So instead of the single shots or doing charge shots, if you do your alternate fire, you're going to fire off like a triple shot, which is it's lots of AoE mayhem. So if you haven't given Hildryn a serious try lately, you're missing out. She's a tank, she strips, and she also does quite a bit of damage. And at number 4, we have the Fiery Prince, Neza. Sliding around, warding Halo, absorbing damage, chakrams bouncing around. Neza's a lot of fun. But what we're going to be relying on is his fourth and first abilities, with his first being his subsume slot for us. Now going over his build real fast, we've got Corrosive Projection up there in the Aura slot just to take away a little bit of the enemy's armor, and then I'm using Firewalker up there in the Excellence slot so we can get some extra heat on bullet jumps, since that's all we're going to be doing since it's Warframe. Next, we're going to be using a maxed out Fleeting Expertise, not only for efficiency, but also we want that negative duration for his fourth ability. We'll go over that here in just a second. Overextended for a buttload of range, Archon Vitality for double heat procs, Umbral Intensify for more ability strength, Archon Stretch for range, and we also have the chance if we use a pet with an electric type setup like the Doriga with Arc Coil, we can get some energy regen, Transient Fortitude for ability strength, Argus Secrets for more ability strength, and then Divine Retribution for his fourth. That's the augment that we're going to be using. Now for the arcanes, we're using Arcane Steadfast for a chance to get a free ability cast, not costing us any extra energy. Then we've got Mole Augmented for more ability strength. Now going back to Fleeting Expertise, the reason why we want negative duration, or the least amount of duration as possible, is because the fourth ability, when his spears actually pierce the enemies, you can cast it again to slam them down on the ground, or wait for it to actually do it itself. And the lower the duration, the faster that's going to happen without you having to cast it yourself. Now for the first ability, we subsumed over Firewalker and replaced it with Pyrotechnics from Temple, because when the enemies are ragdolled by his fourth, they're going to be hit by all different instances of Pyrotechnics, and we have also got Archon Vitality for double heat procs, plus I'm using Firewalker. I can't really tell if it's doing a whole lot more damage. It was doing a whole lot of damage in the first place, so I can't really tell. But anyways, extra heat, more procs on all the special little spots on the enemy's bodies, ends up being millions and millions of damage. Everything dies. Divine Retribution is going to give us a damage multiplier. If you hover over the fourth ability there, we've got a 2.89 damage multiplier. Now, just so you guys know, this is a build I've seen floating around for a bit. I actually started trying it out. This build is a lot of fun. Lots and lots of fun. You just delete enemies, clear rooms. Totally worth a try. Moving into the top 3, we have Valk here. Now, shredding enemies like a lawnmower, if that's what you want to do, you definitely want to play Valk. Now, for her build, what I'm currently using is Steel Charge and Aura Slot. Now, I've got preparation in a lot of these builds because I use an Archimedia, and I like starting off with a bunch of energy. But otherwise, you can use something like Power Drift for extra ability strength, or whatever you're comfortable with playing. Now, we've got Precision Intensify up there for more ability strength on her 4th. Prime Flow for a bigger energy pool that also puts us over the 500 cap for all purple shards, so we can use all 5 Tau Forge purple shards to be able to get extra crit damage. And then we got Transient Fortitude for more ability strength, Naira's Hatred, so we've also got some extra health and ability duration, Blind Rage for more ability strength, Equilibrium for extra source of energy there. We've got Narrow Minded for more duration, and Eternal War is the augment that we're currently using for her 2nd. On her 1st ability, Ripline, I actually subsumed it for Roar, so we've got even more, you know, because I don't think anybody really uses Roar these days, right? So anyways, back to Eternal War. That's going to give us a 2-second increase on our 2nd ability, Warcry, which gives us extra armor and extra attack speed. And with this setup, we will be getting an increase of 3.73 seconds a kill, plus a max duration of almost 75 seconds once we, well, max it out. Now, going back to the Arcanes, we have Arcane Guardian for basically more armor, and Arcane Reaper for, I'm using it for more armor. Now, you can see it's not maxed out. I need to get some more Reapers, but this build has been carrying me through a lot of Archimedia runs. So like I said, if you do want to feel like a freaking lawnmower, just clawing your way through anything and everything on the map, Valk is definitely worth a shot. And if you want to see the build I've got currently on her Talons, what we got here is just building for crit chance, damage, and we've also got the corrosive on there. I've also got my melee Dottie up there so we can get extra crit damage. Not necessarily needed. Then coming in at number 2, we have Titania. Prepare to be small, fly around, get stuck underneath anything and everything you can find because you are flying too fast. Anyways, with Titania, I really kind of just like left her alone for the longest time because I haven't really played as her as much and really got the grasp on it. But in chat one day, a couple buddies threw up a build, said I should try it out, and now I can't get away from her. Now for the build, what I'm actually using is Growing Power up there in the aura slot so we can get a little bit of extra ability strength. And we've got preparation because who would have guessed I've been using this in Archimedia, and I like to start with a full tank of gas. We got Precision Intensify for her 4th, which is Razor Wing. Prime Flow for a bigger ability pool. Equilibrium so we can get another source of energy. Aviator, you can see that it's an Excellence mod that I'm using in a non-Excellence slot. I'm just using that for a little bit more survivability because while you're in the air, you do take a little bit less damage with this mod, 40% to be exact. Now, Transient Fortitude for ability strength, Narrow Minded for more duration, Archon Continuity, so we not only get duration, but this will turn our toxin procs into corrosive. And then we've got Razor Wing Blitz is her augment mod that we're currently using. Now over her 1st, I have subsumed and replaced with Zada's Whisper. The Razor Wing Blitz will increase your fire rate and flight speed by 25% for 8 seconds when you use your abilities, and it stacks up to 4 times. So when you go into your Razor Wing and then you cast Zada's Whisper twice, you're going to get quite a bit of fire rate, which is super nice, and you kind of want it. Anyways, for the Arcanes, we're using Arcane Pistolier and Arcane Precision. Arcane Pistolier will give us ammo efficiency on headshots, and then Arcane Precision gives us extra damage on headshots, an extra 300% on our secondary weapons. And then for her shards, I'm running 3 Tau red, so I've got extra ability strength, and then 2 green ones to increase our corrosive stacks by 2 apiece, so a total stack of 14, so we can get the full armor stripping. Since we will be doing toxic damage and Archon Continuity, we'll be changing our toxin stat into a corrosive. And then over on our pistols, we have Prime Target Cracker for more crit damage, Magnetic Might for a magnetic status and more crit damage, Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, galvanized shot for status chance, and then scorch and frostbite. So we've got the blast status, and then we've got creeping bullseye for more crit chance, and then pathogen rounds for that toxin proc there. And then on the arcane slot, we have secondary innervate. So we have those chances of getting bigger critical hits. Now, the one thing you do have to watch out with Titania is you will have a lot of fun with her and you won't want to stop playing her, but with her Razor Wing Blitz, you'll be flying so fast that it's actually kind of hard to control. Either you can get good at flying or driving Titania, or you can throw on a Hobble Dragon Key to slow down your movement if you really want to do that. And then at number 1, we have my absolute most favoriteest frame ever, Clervo, the Melee King. With his first ability, Wrathful Advance, able to teleport straight to an enemy and perform a heavy attack, giving you a humongous crit bonus, along with being one of the, I think, one of the best movement abilities in the game. Because, I mean, when you're playing Clervo, you're not really playing Warframe, you're playing Dragon Ball Z now. Anyways, going through his shards, I have 2 for casting speed, 2 Tau Forge, then I have 3 Tau Forge purples for more crit damage on my melee, of course, because I kind of like melee in this game for some reason. Getting to the actual build, up there in the aura slot, we have Steel Charge for more melee damage. We have Power Drift in the Excellence slot for more ability strength, Streamline for efficiency. And then we have Blind Rage for more ability strength, along with Augur Reach and Archon Stretch for range. And then also Archon Stretch, if we pair it with our companion, we can get more energy regen. Anyways, Rolling Guard for, you know, that little extra status cleanse or survivability. Then we have Prime Continuity for more duration and Prime Flow for a bigger energy pool that also gives us plenty of energy over the 500 cap for the purple shards. Now, I have been using on his 4th ability, I subsumed over and replaced with Eclipse. Now, Eclipse can also give you a weapon damage bonus. Also, if you need it, it can be a little boost in your survivability. So if you hold it, you can give yourself the damage bonus, or if you just tap it, you can give yourself the damage reduction. And then for his augment, we're using Volatile Recompense, which will let the daggers basically just hover around us longer and give us the opportunity to increase our overguard as much as we can. Up to, what, 22,000 I think is what we can get it maxed out at this build, maybe a little bit more. But as long as the daggers are still floating around you, you don't have to worry about, you know, losing any overguard, because as long as you find enemies for those things to jab into, you're going to get a little bit of overguard. For the arcanes, we have Mole Augmented for more ability strength. Then we have Arcane Fury on critical hit, which we will be doing almost all the time with his first ability. Will give us a chance to get an extra 180% melee damage increase. Now with this build, you're going to be basically teleporting around with your first ability. You can smack enemies, you can just use it as a movement ability, whatever you want to do. But when you do cast it and you do actually do the teleport, you're going to get about 15 seconds of a 427% crit chance increase on your melee weapons. So like I said, you're going to be hitting crits almost all the time, if not all the time, as long as you got that ability up. So there you guys go. There's my top 5 Warframes that I've been playing with here recently. Having a lot of fun with. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments. Are you guys using any of these frames? Do you guys got any similar type setups down there in the comments? Let me know. I want to know, because I want to try. All right. Goodbye, guys.